to come in, and then we'll get going on the show. Hank should be here in a minute, and yeah, just give it 1 second. I'm gonna pin a couple of posts up to the Jumbotron and be right back, and then we'll get started. See some more people coming in. Just hold tight for 1 second, and we'll get going soon. Also, while we're waiting for Hank to get here and a few more people to come in, just want to, really encourage people to come up on stage and join us. Really make this kind of a community event, community space on a weekly basis. And, we want to hear from you and, not just deliver information from the top down. So anybody that wants to come up, please come up. We would love to meet you. And if we already know you, it'd be good to hear from you again. So yeah, like I said, just waiting on Hank to get here, getting a couple more things set up, and then we'll get started. All right, I see Hank's here, and yeah, so let's get started. Welcome everybody to week 2, episode 2 of DiamondSwap Market Talk. Glad that everybody's here. See a lot of familiar faces in the crowd. Hank, it's good to see you. Hope all is well on your end.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Sweet. Hold on, let me hit this co-host button and see if it rugs me again this week. Can you still?
Crossing.
Am I still here? Can you hear me?
Hey, technology works today.
Hey, would you look at
that? How's your day going?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 meetings so far, but pretty good otherwise.
Hey, that's pretty good. I'm sure everybody that is a loyalist to DiamondSwap and Dior is happy to hear that you're busy with that.
Yeah. They're all good meetings. It's just they're all one after another. It's just one of those things. I'm like, okay, we are, like I said this last week. If anybody who tells me we're not in the bull market, I don't really care what they have to say, because you can't look at my schedule and tell me that we're not. It's just, we had this weird little, I think, 4-month thing where it's like dead quiet, like the calm before the storm kind of thing. And then out of nowhere, every single person just started booking things on my calendar all at the same time. And it's just not stopped ever since. So it's been fantastic.
Yeah. Before we really jump into things, I just want to introduce us. My name is Jude. I do social media work for DiamondSwap. I host Twitter Spaces. Hank is the CEO of DiamondSwap, and we started this Twitter Space series last week. We're going to be doing this weekly, most likely every week at 2 p.m. Eastern. If not, we'll let you all know. But yeah, looking at 2 p.m. Eastern, go over, the markets, different things that are going on in crypto. And, we want to make this, I was saying this, Hank, before you got here, but just, we would love for this to be a community space where people can come up and we can meet, the listeners. They can talk, give their opinions and ideas. That'll really make this show, really set itself apart from a lot of other shows as well. Just to get multiple opinions, not just us, kind of speaking top down. So nothing that you hear here is financial advice. We do ask that, if you can, repost the room, give it a like, comment, let's grow this and see where it goes. But you know, Hank is typing away,
Oh
but
man, I forgot
you
to
know,
mute before I was sharing the post. Okay, I was sharing the space. Man, I literally just got off of a meeting where Ben roasted me because of my keyboard. Oh man.
yeah. So one of the things that I was going to mention off of what you already talked about was I was talking with a guy a couple days ago about what you were just saying, with being so busy and meetings and he's kind of seeing the same things. People are looking to put their money into various projects right now. Like this is the time where it seems like there's a lot of people, people that have a lot of reach and finances and assets, and they're looking to kind of put money into the market right now. Is that kind of what you're seeing as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Every influencer I talk to is anti-capo at this point. Everybody wants to see us back to where we were in 2021 and even further along after. All the guys in my network, all the new guys that we talk to every day. Everybody is gearing up for something that no one knows what to expect this next cycle, because everyone is saying this bull run is going to be the bull run of bull runs kind of thing. And, all of the teams that we're talking to is just everybody's trying to get their infrastructure ready and, just be able to withstand the amount of traffic and stuff that's going to come along with this inevitable next cycle.
Yeah, we were talking last week, and Buddy came up and was talking a lot about kind of the airdrop scene and how he thought that was going to be something to really keep your eye on throughout the bull run, or even right now. Get all those ducks in a row to farm those airdrops. But is there a certain sector of the market that you're looking into right now that you think could be, like the in 2017, it was like the ICO craze. In 2019 or 2020, 2021, it was the NFT kind of craze. Do you see anything that is going to be kind of like the subsector of crypto kind of breadwinner for people in this coming bull run?
You know, uh, everybody says, gaming is going to be huge this one, and I do think that gaming is probably going to be one of the forefronts just because it's easier to onboard people on, right? But another aspect to that that is equally as important, or even more so, that I could see being a titan is definitely going to be the infrastructure um, projects that are out there, right? We had Link last bull cycle that was super successful for everybody who was in it early on, and I think we will likely see more, Oracle type or node infrastructures or RPZ providers, wallets, etc., be right up there with all of the gaming token aspects, and definitely just in general, services platforms, people who are both uh, you know doing like the SaaS models, people that have revenue, all of those I could see doing really well in the bull market as well. It's just who can be sustainable versus who is able to ride that hype or generate hype. I think is also something to take into consideration, because while something might explode out of random and everyone's posting that they made X amount or whatever, that only lasts for so long without a real tangible product and something behind it that makes it worth that run up, right? So narratives can both generate money and lead to internal bubbles, which can be quite dangerous. So everyone needs to do their research while they're looking at all these projects that are going to pop up, because there is going to be a just a incredible amount of options for people to look at. So, it's chats like these that might help weed through some of those, but it's really going to take a lot of doing your own research in in this next run, and even now, to figure out what's real, what isn't, and who's blowing smoke, and who's actually building. Like Dior.
Right, right. And since you brought it up, I should mention that in one of the pin tweets, we have the room that you can respace or retweet, and in the other post we have that the referral program for Dior decks has gone live, and that's a really great way for people to earn money in the bull run. Uh, Basically, what it is if you sign up, you get free tokens, and if you get other people to sign up using your code, you get free tokens. And what I think is the really cool thing is whatever the people that sign up under your referral code, whatever they end up trading, you get 10% of the trading fees that are accrued forever. So it's a really great way to make some passive income potentially. And it just started a couple days ago, so it'd be good to get in, be one of the first people to start doing that, and yeah, the links in the jumbotron. But um, if anybody wants to come up and share, just hit the request button. We're up here. Hank, you were talking about sustainability. It's another topic that I talk about with people a lot. Sometimes there's even good teams that seem to want to work hard. Now, maybe I'm just hanging out in the degen space too much, but sometimes it even seems when the team really wants to work and puts in the effort, the market doesn't even respond to that. So is there a bit of luck as well that's involved with who's like buying, maybe even sniping the project in the beginning, like who are the big holders, like that can really kind of give you a sneak peek into what projects might have sustainability if you're looking to get in like in the first week of its existence?
Yeah, so for sustainability, that is uh, a forefront of what should be on your mind for pretty much everything that pops up, right? And some of the things that is really important. Some things are going to be in the control of the projects, and some aren't, right? And I've definitely been part of both of the side of that. We've launched projects where 4 days after we launched, we entered the bear market and everything collapsed immediately. And it's been, you had to kind of dig yourself out of the hole over several months or a year or more. And then, you can also release into a really good start into a bull market and kind of get lucky and everything else. But for just in general, there's certain metrics for projects and tokens and everything else that is going to be more important than anything else. And liquidity is going to play a huge part in that, right? Anybody who has less than 5% liquidity backing, I never touch with a 10-foot pole. People who have more than 30-40% are likely going to be around as long as they don't steal it for a very long time in tandem. That's just simply how the economics of those tokens could work. But for there's a difference between a token is here versus having a real company behind the token, right? And again, I come back to this. Having a product, having revenue generation, etc., because it is so important for sustainability and being able to be here throughout the long run. We have had the pleasure of being, one of the companies to survive the bear market only because we were able to onboard so many different clients to sustain the lack of traction on certain products. And now that the market and people are starting to get more interested, obviously we've had a lot of success with raising capital and slowly getting people to see our products. But in general, a lot of people don't have the luxury of being able to raise that capital like that. We just happen to get lucky and connect ourselves with the right people at that point. But you know the sustainability that I see and that I look for in teams and projects is the people who don't leave when it's hard, right? It's super easy to throw something up, make a few bucks off of it, and then just close it down and tear down and hope nobody sues you for it, right? And people have done that several times. That's
Yeah.
kind of a status quo in the space. Uh,
Yeah.
and it shouldn't be, but it is. But for just as a different example, like Nobility Token that I'm the CTO for, we had a huge run up during the bull market. The token, just like everything else, collapsed 90%, but we didn't tear it down. We actually built an entire esports product through the bear market. It's just released, and Kyle, my partner on there, had brought in even more people on the dev team and everything else, and they're able to survive through that, and never giving up, right? And there's a lot of other projects out there that they had a good run, they've collapsed into nothing, and they're still here building. They've actually built stuff throughout the bear market, and now they're slowly seeing a recovery, and people are noticing like, oh, these guys, they've been here for 2 years. You could scroll through their thousands of tweets through the bear market and see that they've while it sucks that they had less traction, they never left, right? And that's kind of the things that I look for.
Yeah. Yeah. Sustainability. I was thinking of just calling it conviction play. And I it's very hard to find a conviction play for me. I mean, I do have a few, but I guess after being in the space for so long, it can be difficult to hang in there. But you're right. Like when you go and look at someone's Twitter profile and you scroll back and you see that they've been posting like every day or every other day for years, no matter what their price is, no matter what's going on. That is definitely something that says a lot about the team themselves, and if they're building something cool on top of that, then it might be worth a deeper dive.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
and I make a lot of references for projects that I'm closely related to just because it's easier. But I mean, there is dozens of projects that I can look at and just tell you, just off of first glance, whether or not I would think that they're going to be here next year or not, based on how they present themselves, how they walk and talk, and just general viewpoints of what they look like, right? But just because that's also to note that just because a project has the best intentions doesn't mean it's going to be successful either. So you
exactly.
never know with what you're getting into. But at least I'd rather invest, or at least give my support to people that try and fail versus just half-ass it and get lucky, right? So I mean, and that's really, or scam, right? That's the other side of the coin. That's definitely here in the space. But if I'm going to back someone, I'm going to back someone because they're trying their damnedest to make a change.
Oh, the scam, Hank, the scam. There's for me two types of scams, really. There's just the straight up rug, and then the especially cruel slow rug. And I've been a part of some slow rugs before, and it is not fun, not fun. Um, but not me personally, but as a community member. The next thing that I wanted to kind of like shift to is, last week we were talking about the ETF and the market response to it, and kind of seeing like where we're at now. kind of been, I don't know, a little bit of, I would say, trepidation in this short-term market space since the ETF kind of, got approved and they've been live. Um, it kind of leads me to maybe a little bit of a deeper topic today, but when we're talking about cryptocurrency, uh, I believe that one of the main reasons that it was built was, it was a response to kind of the 2008 financial crisis, and there was a lot of negativity towards Wall Street and government involvement in people's finances and banks and all that stuff. But what we're seeing now, is a lot of institutional money flowing into crypto. It's been doing that for a while now, but now with the ETFs, it's even easier. Um, what, how do you see the involvement of institutional money and kind of ethos of what cryptocurrency might have been designed to be? And the reason why I'm asking is because a lot of people are, saying how the cryptocurrency markets are correlated with Bitcoin and or with the Dow Jones and with the SPX, and you know, do you think that A, I guess is true? Are they correlated? And B, uh, do you think that that is kind of like, the vibe of what cryptocurrency was supposed to be?
Well, it's not necessarily that they correlate. I think it's necessary to point out the fact that there is market makers for all of that, and the people that have had the most liquidity in stocks, I would not put it past them to join the crypto side and take advantage of that either, because as stocks go up and down, et cetera, as liquidity frees up in the regular markets, um, it is beneficial for those same market makers to spread the liquidity into the cryptocurrency realm and kind of do the exact same thing in tandem, right? Because a lot of it is just bots and trading software and everything else that they have to make small tweaks for in order to support these larger centralized exchanges, be able to pull their endpoints and APIs to facilitate this, right? So it's not a hard stretch to be able to take the existing financial software that you've already built for these archaic financial institutions and implement it over onto the centralized platforms, which is really what we're seeing more often than not. But that the difference being, and what is ultimately going to, not right now, it doesn't look like, but in my opinion, in the later years, especially like as we continue to grow, as cryptocurrency moves to more of a education between it. I mean, we're always going to have centralized platforms, but the more usage for decentralized aspects of crypto, people handling DeFi, handling their own wallets, putting their own stuff on their own ledgers and stuff like that. I mean, that is where we'll see the difference, because you can't do that with stocks, right? You might be able to manage it yourself, but they all trade in the exact same spot. That's different with crypto. There is a lot more ways to transfer the assets, to utilize the assets, and just handle them in general than there is in traditional finances. Um, and even so, I still see a lot of correlations with financial markets to even like shitcoins and meme coins and stuff, because there's people that list
Yeah.
on the stock exchange that plummet and never recover and have low volume, and they might be a publicly traded company, but they're garbage. And there's plenty of garbage coins that pop up every day. It's just with a little bit less regulation, right? So yeah, I think it's definitely got a correlation, but I think we have a better chance in the crypto space to separate ourselves out from those traditional methods.
Yeah, that's a good answer. That's kind of exactly what I was going for, because for me, one of the things that I always heard is, kind of cryptocurrency is the haven for the individual, to get themselves out of the grip of, institutional money. And there are a lot of people talking about, the greater stock market and overall economy, and how, it doesn't look good to them, and kind of planning on some sort of like pretty major retrace. I don't know if you subscribe to that, but a lot of people seem to think that there's going to be some sort of, economic recession, collapse, whatever you want to call it, coming up, in maybe, a year, 2 years, whatever. And, just thinking about the implications of what that will have for cryptocurrency and potentially like our own bull run, uh, seeing how they are kind of connected, kind of puts questions in people's minds about, well, how much of a haven is cryptocurrency? And is it going to be more of a haven after some sort of like said collapse?
The easiest way that I think about it is, despite what I think it was J.P. Morgan said 2 days ago, where
Yeah, yeah,
he
yeah. I
didn't
wish I'd seen that.
understand that Bitcoin isn't inflationary like that. Um, Technically, it could be if every single person who owned Bitcoin decided to or a large majority of the Bitcoin holders decided to eventually vote to increase that, which no one will, because that would dilute themselves. That would be very dumb. So, in reality, it's never going to increase from 21 million, right? But there's, even CEOs of some of the largest firms in the entire world think that they don't know how the technology works, right? So they think oh, it's going to work the same. It's not. I mean, it's a very limited supply. It's like gold. There's not going to be more gold, but there could be more gold even then if we were to get hit by an asteroid that had gold in it. In the universe, it's possible to get more gold. In Bitcoin, it's not. It is fixed. The dollar, the euro, all of that, they print that crap all the time, right? So, I mean, in my eyes, I'm safer having one Bitcoin because I know my one Bitcoin is going to be one Bitcoin. My dollar loses value all the time. So, I mean, in general, I feel safer with at least the safest cryptocurrency assets. There's definitely a lot of them out there that could go away, but Bitcoin is not going to be one of them. It's too big to fail.
Yeah, well put. Yeah, I saw that headline with Jamie
Jamie
Dimon. I was
Dimon,
like,
that's
you
who
got
did
to
it.
be
Yeah.
kidding me. Yeah, yeah. And calling it, he was just like, yeah, there's no way that they're not going. I think he called it adding Satoshis.
Yeah. Yeah. He could just, no, what was it? Satashi is what he
Yeah, yeah.
called it. And he's like, yeah, Satoshi's going to come out of nowhere, and he's just going to print more Bitcoin. I'm like, one, if Satoshi, if his wallet comes to life, I'm shitting my pants. All right, and I'm
Yeah,
selling my house to buy the Bitcoin that he puts onto the market.
yeah.
So, let him come out of nowhere. But in my opinion, Satoshi passed away for who I think it was. But that's a whole different can of worms for another day.
Yeah, we could do a whole show on that.
Yeah, it is definitely not Craig White. Craig Wright. I'll
Yeah.
point that out. It is not him. He's a fake, and he needs to
Oh,
go away.
I, I don't even think I've looked up the price of Satoshi's Vision in like 2 years.
Yeah,
Was he the Satoshi's Vision, or was he Bitcoin
Cash.
Cash?
Yeah,
Or yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
BSV or whatever it was.
Yeah, yeah, Satoshi
Yep.
Vision, yeah. So, yeah, so again, for anybody listening, this is Diamond Swap Market Talk. Do a little bit of a reset. My name is Dude. Here with me is CEO of Diamond Swap, Hank. We're just talking every week about the markets. We have a couple of pin tweets up on the jumbotron. You can get involved with the DiorJex referral program if you'd like. Retweet the space, give it a like, give it a comment. We're going to be doing these every week at around 2 p.m. Eastern. If it's any other time, we'll let you know beforehand. But yeah, I just really appreciate everybody for being here. Give your, you know, give a little request to come up and speak, say hi, say what's up, bring up a topic of your own. You know, we're here to just talk. And I think next week, Hank, I'm going to do an NFT giveaway. I'm going to bait people with a carrot to come up and speak.
Oh, there you go.
And you know, and maybe whoever comes up and speaks will be entered into a random drawing for an NFT straight out of my own wallet. So we'll see what kind of junk I can find. It's a spoiler. Yeah, I think I was talking to you about NFTs yesterday, Hank, and man, I really spent a lot of time in the NFT market, you know, a couple of years ago, and something's pulling me back to it, and I think I need to say no. Do you buy NFTs currently?
Well, I just bought this frog thing because Coco told me to, and it's super down based on when I bought it. I should have waited like 4 days, but you know that's me with every NFT ever, except fading Bored Apes. Whenever I saw them at 1 ETH, and I never bought them. That was also a very sad time for me. But no, I mean, I like NFTs to a certain extent. I think a lot of the NFT projects are lackluster for the amount of capital that they have access to. I think they could do a lot and help a lot of change in the space, and you know they just end up doing like merch lines or get-togethers when they could do more.
Right.
But you know, I don't have any hate toward them. I just think that we could definitely improve the NFT space for sure.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. It seems like at the end of the day, you know, most of the projects really just end up taking a ton of FUD, and maybe rightly so for some of the decisions that they make. But at the end of the day, I view NFTs as kind of, you know, it's a membership into a club where you get access to certain things, and and you know the things that people come up with, you know, like you said, like merch or a party, like those are okay, I guess.
As a
But
social club, I
uh,
get it. You know, if it's like a membership pass and you want to do once a year, kind of like conference to get everyone together, I get it. But they're still, you know, utilizing 1/100th of the revenue that they make, or the the mint or whatever. You know, I mean these guys. There's some projects that have raised tens of millions of dollars, and they're not doing anything with it. And that's like the side that I don't really understand. Because if I had $10 million, I'd be building everything. And you know, Diamond Swap, the raise is for more than $10 million, and I am going to be building everything, right? So like I just like that's like maybe it's just a different mindset, or maybe people, maybe that NFT works for them and they don't want to change it, and they're afraid of making a mistake or whatever. But like at the end of the day, like it's just it's one of those things that you kind of have to take the risk if you're in the market right now, only because if you don't, I mean, you could, you will lose your position whenever the next, new thing pops up. Like if you're not willing to change and pivot and become a front mover in the space, then you're not going to get anywhere, right? And you owe it to the people that you've done this mint for, or done the collection for, etc., to at least try. I've tried a lot of things and failed, but I'm still trying to improve on those things. And I don't, anything that fails, I try to make up for it, and continue to go through. But a lot of NFTs are really focused on the art functionality, rather than real functionality and utility and stuff like that, and you just can't. I just don't see the technology being able to sustain just off art.
Right, right. And talking about, your own conviction, you said it earlier. You want to put money into things where people aren't afraid to fail, and because that seems to be rightly so a position that you take in your own life, like not being afraid. Because the one thing that a lot of these new projects, well, I shouldn't say a lot, but there are projects out there that come out that seem to do basically the same thing as something else that already exists, but maybe they present it in a different way, or they, are able to market it better or something like that. So you just never know like who's lurking kind of in the shadows watching what you do, and coming up with, something that's very similar that, they just would like to take over, and that's fine, that's the way things go. But um, if you're not constantly innovating like you're talking about, then you won't separate yourself from those people, and you have first mover advantage when you're already in that sector of whatever, you know, business model that, that exists in the marketplace. So I guess
I mean,
one thing
in
that,
terms of
yeah,
NFTs, somebody that I respect right now is definitely Pudgy Penguins,
yeah,
because
yeah.
Luca, I yes, they're doing smaller things. They're slowly integrating into Web 2 and retail and stuff, and that is not the feat on its own. Anybody can make a toy, right? I own uh, a video game and toy store franchise in my town and in PA. And we're well into profit, we're doing good, etc. But the fact that Luca was able to get the Pudgies into Walmart, I mean, that is hard, and keep it into Walmart, let alone. I mean, that is real effort, real connections, and I see them. If they were able to do that in such a short amount of time after him taking over, I'm very excited to see what he's capable of doing over a week, or several months, a year, 2 years, in general, rather than just what he's able to do in a few weeks.
Maybe do you know what the floor price is on those right
Too
now?
expensive for me, but I can definitely respect the project. I can't afford to buy one anymore, and I faded those at half an ETH because I am, again, terrible at investing in NFTs. But um, they've been fantastic. I have messages of me messaging one of the guys on my team. I'm like, yeah, should I buy this little penguin thing? And the screenshot is 0.43 ETH, and I'm just like, I don't think so. I don't think I'm gonna get it. And he sent me a picture yesterday. It's like, yeah, there's 16 ETH floor. I'm like, yeah, leave me alone. I know.
Yeah. Well, one thing that I just wanted to circle back real quick, because you were talking about, your own path, and having, the ability to try and continue to innovate and have conviction in your product that you're putting out and continue to work hard. It just got me curious, like, this isn't, strictly a diamond swap space, but, as far as your own work is concerned, is there something that you're working on with Diamond Swap that like just really gets you going, Hank? Like, is there a feature that you're just really into and like can't wait for people to just use like way more than, something that just completely exceeds like what's out there on the market?
Yes, that goes along in tandem with, so we we are our next feature set for Diamond Swap is going to be the aggregator, right? And it's going to be able to pull liquidity from Uniswap, SushiSwap, PancakeSwap, Trader Joe, etc. We're going to be on several networks. We'll be able to service trades on all of those networks, so you can start. Once it's out, you'll be able to utilize Diamond Swap to facilitate any trade that you want to make on the market for cheaper than all of the titans that have been out already. The way that we've written everything, the way that we've optimized everything, our gas is going to be substantially cheaper than all of the other options, even if we are using and pulling their liquidity. So, that's cool on its own because of the technical prowess. But I'm more looking forward to whenever we have this out and we have the perpetuals beta and MVP out, getting to the version twos. Now, when I say version two, I don't actually mean version two. I mean upgrades that would make it feel like a version 2, because everything that we write, we use the Diamond standard and we've built it to be completely modular. So we don't have to have migrations for anything that we build. We don't have to be like Uniswap where they're V2, V3, V4 pools, all that other crap. It all is seamless in the same um, instance, right? We do not have to have migrations or different versions. We can have it all seamlessly built all together without confusing people. Now, in these version 2 for aggregator, we're going to be able to do really cool stuff. Aside from just doing multi routed trades across networks, that's been done before. Yes, we'll have that eventually, but it's not anything absolutely crazy other than will cost less, right? But order splitting, people have done that, probably not to the layer of what we're going to be adding and have already scoped out, but we're going to be focusing heavily on the side that I have wanted to focus forever, which is the safety and usability aspect for the user, right? I've had so many friends have issues where they'll get hacked or scammed or buy a honeypot and all this other this and that and this and that, and have all of these issues. But in our very short research and development, I mean, we have some ideas in mind already where we can completely prevent front running, and we can prevent honeypots from being able to even be bought. We can prevent scam tokens from being able to pull liquidity at the drop of a hat kind of thing. We can detect that and be able to set up automated cells before they rug liquidity. We'll be able to do a lot of cool safety features and educational features in tandem. And that's really what I'm looking forward to is being able to teach people and help people learn, because I that's the part that I like the most. Is I like to learn about new things in space. I like to learn new technology. I like to build and innovate and all that stuff. But the normal people who can't code are not going to be necessarily innovating by themselves, but they can keep up with it and learn new things. And if we're able to service information and showcase kind of what they should look for and how to do things on their own, and get them to learn so that they don't have issues moving forward, I think that's a win in my book, and that would be helping the space tremendously in terms of what's out there now. And that's kind of what I'm looking forward to the most is being able to have a safer and better layout than what's out there, because that's really how we get people to take us seriously and really grow crypto as a whole.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. A safer space leads to a greater probability of mass adoption, and I think the space is on its way to mass adoption. But with developments like what you're doing, it's going to make it even more possible. But we don't have too much time left here today, Hank. But I did want to mention that I posted another tweet in the Jumbotron if people want to check it out real quick. There is a community Q&A that happens every week at 7 p.m. Eastern time on the DiorDex Telegram channel. And if you join that channel, you can be a part of that and learn all about, this amazing platform that's going to be coming out. That's going to be an all-in-one kind of place for traders to go to get information on different projects, be able to trade there using DiamondSwap, being able to do all kinds of charting and analytics, and it's just everything. You don't need to go to 3 or 4 different places to get all the information that you need. And so there's a Q&A tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern, happens weekly. So we would love to see you guys there. I know I'll be there. Hank, I believe you'll be there.
Always.
Yeah, and with that being said, look out next week. I'm going to do a giveaway for people that kind of come up and participate, and yeah, like we just want to get to know you guys. So, Hank, is there anything else that you'd like to say before we go?
Yeah, just thanks for coming out. We're looking forward to next week's Twitter Space. We are likely going to be starting a weekly Twitter Space for Dior as well. That will
be similar to this on Tuesdays instead of Thursdays. So if that day and time works better for you, you'll still be able to hop on, or hopefully hop on both. Maybe next week some of you will come up and talk. Maybe we'll get the fear out of you, get you up here, come talking. If not, all good. But more than welcome to have you up and get to know you guys better, and just kind of continue to build out the community. Hopefully next week we'll have more people. We are starting to slowly set up organic marketing avenues where we'll begin to grow our page, and we should be seeing results for that here over the next few weeks. So.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of time. But yeah, thanks everybody for listening, being here in the audience. If you're listening to the recording, thanks for playing it back. And yeah, look out for the next show, and we'll talk to y'all soon. So take care, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Have a good day.